Another top 25 matchup as we have Big Ten Wrestling presented by Cliff Keen Athletic. Wrestle with the best.
This will be their first meeting and huge implications for Big Ten seeding at the conference tournament in March.
Yeah, that one's going to be fun and heavyweight. Our lineups, as always, are brought to you by Defense Soap. Let's jump right to it. We're starting at the top, 125. Nicolas Rivera.
Out of the gates at 25.
One of the great venues in all of college wrestling, the Corvelli Center, the site here tonight for a top 25 showdown. We've got 3 straight Big Ten conference duels coming your way with the best wrestling America has to offer. And here at 125,
work center.
Got a guy who is red hot right now in Vinny Kilcarry. He's been thrusted into this role at 125. The starter, Nick Bazak, is still having a little bit of injury at time. Kilcarry came away with a big win over Jory Volk, who was number 9 of the country last week in sudden victory. That was 4-1. And Rivera's got a little bit of an issue with the contact that time.
Yeah, it just speaks to the depth of this Ohio State program and how talented they are, top to bottom, not only with their starters, but their entire roster. For a guy like Kilcarry to step in and get a ranked win last week against Minnesota, just an amazing depth that this team has at 25, which is a wake up.
Johnson, and here we go, back to action at 125.
And Rivera doing a good job getting to some offense immediately. Goes for the left-handed high crotch and hip in. And he's a guy that can, create a ton of action. We talked to Coach Bono earlier this week. He's got a wide-open style. He's sort of all over the place in what he's trying to do. And he's a guy who's very comfortable in what I call wrestling situations when there's action and positioning to be won. That's when he really thrives. So creating those opportunities for himself in this match and setting the pace and tone early is going to be really important for Wisconsin to come out with a win in this first bout.
On the edge of the mat, they'll go back to the center. It's Wisconsin supporting those white and black singlets today. Crimson singlets on the other side for Ohio State.
Got 1-1.
Yeah, both guys standing toe-to-toe. Rivera working for that 2-on-1 tie, but Kilcarry breaking, getting some space.
Okay.
Mike, in your career, you came off some big wins. If you're a young guy, you're like Kilcarry, who's coming off one of the biggest matches of his career. There's a takedown for Rivera. What was your mindset going in there, coming off a big-time win like that?
I think it's all upside to have that validation that I compete, I work hard, I go to practice every single week. I'm competing with some of the best guys in the country in my room. I get the opportunity to showcase it on the mat against a quality opponent, and I come out victorious. It just helps me build that confidence. And if I can continue to wrestle my style, get to my positions, and just build on that, that's how you start that flywheel of, hey, I could be an All-American, I can be an NCAA champion, Big Ten champion. And Kilcarry, started the gears last week with that big win against Minnesota. But great takedown by Rivera to set the tone with that arm spin. Kilcarry getting the escape, and we got a 3-1 match here with 37 seconds left in the first period.
Good counter that time out of Kilcarry to stop Rivera from his second takedown. Rivera's been a guy who's been right on the fringe of getting an All-American nod. He was an NCAA qualifier, 4th place at the Big Ten Championships, a round of 12 guy at the NCAA tournament last year, and he's trying to make that jump, trying to get himself to All-American status. Good counter again by Kilcarry.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing to do, but again, being in this conference, I think just sets you up really nicely to stack those wins and confidence to build on the results he's had from this past season. Looking at this takedown, gets to that 2-on-1 position, really nice back trip, using that top pressure to almost tabletop him to the back. Immediately gets to that claw ride and is able to get a smidge of riding time, but takes a 3-1 lead into the second period.
You ready? Hold. Cover legal.
Kilcarry will be down, and he quickly gets out. Just 3 seconds to slide out of there and bring it back to a 1-point match.
And that's great if you're Kilcarry. You're giving up the early takedown, again, coming off of the win last week. Now you're only down by 1. It's a really manageable match. Try to keep your heart rate low, get back to your offense and your ties, and You know, if you can get a takedown and take the lead, it's a totally different dynamic. But you got to be controlled and cautious against Rivera, given how chaotic he can be with some of these unorthodox positions that he likes to get guys into.
Yeah, he was trying to look for a throw or something there early on. You know, we talked, and a stall warning coming on Kilcarry on the edge of the mat.
You good with that takedown?
And he's on his heels because Rivera has just such a unique style. He bundled those arms up top and was able to cross
He's got warned.
his position. Look at this. He's got the far tricep with that right hand, is able to do an outside trip, which is sort of interesting, and drop to those hips and get the takedown and have an opportunity to work on top.
They did give that takedown on the edge of the mat. Here's the escape, now up and out. 6-3 is the new score.
And Kilcarry's really been on the defensive. Rivera's come out firing, as he should, to set the tone for the Badgers. But if you're Kilcarry, you got to find your ties. You got to move your feet a little bit more. He's on his heels, and he's sort of still waiting. And again, he has given up 2 takedowns, but still a very manageable match for him and the Buckeyes. If he can just sort of, you know, reset the tone of this match so far.
You know, we talked with Vinny Kilcarry at the end of the match against Minnesota 1 week ago tonight. He was talking about when I got a guy like Nick Bazakis in the room, who I get to roll around with and get to work with each week, the number 2 ranked wrestler in this weight class. He goes, there was nobody more excited. Standing right behind the coaches up there in Minneapolis, cheering on his teammate, was Nick Bazakis. Kilcarry joked too, he gave him a headbutt at the end of that. He said, he almost gave me a concussion. I said, calm down there a little bit, Vinny Kilcarry tells us. As they end the second period, Rivera with the 2 takedowns being the difference maker so far.
Yeah, and that's a great testament, again, to the culture that they have in that Ohio State room. And yeah, if you're Bazakis, you have great aspirations, being the number 2 ranked wrestler in the country. And you're training with Kilcarry and other guys, and they're helping you work towards that goal. So, you know, when you're dinged up and you don't have that opportunity to represent your team with a singlet and somebody else does, you know, you're excited for them because you know that they're making the same sacrifices and putting in the same work that you are in pursuit of, you know, just getting some individual and team accolades. So it's just a great sign of the culture that this Buckeye team has. Kilcarry doing a good job. He's got an underhook here. He's holding position, but I think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive in trying to generate some openings. Rivera is up by 4 points. He doesn't necessarily need to be offensive. Kilcarry has a stall call against him and does a good job there with the shot to the outside, but really crafty defense by Rivera. But he's got to create a couple more of those. He's got about a minute left. He's down by 4. It's going to take a takedown and something else to give himself a shot to come out on top. Beautiful, beautiful boot scoot.
Rivera with another takedown, making it a 10-3 match. So now, Mike, when we're looking at it, bonus points out of the get-go for Wisconsin are in favor. If they can get to 8, it would be a major decision, and it would give 4 team points to Wisconsin on the first match of the night.
Russell here.
Again, for this Badgers squad, that is so important. Rivera's got to be thinking about the team here and look for one more takedown. He's already got 3 in the match so far, and this Ohio State team is absolutely stacked. So anything they can do to get more dual points will help, but very, very solid defense there by Kilcarry to get a takedown of his own.
Coach Tom Ryan in the corner is saying let him up, but he was under the hips that time for a 5 count. And it will be a stall warning.
Second stall call.
It's the second one coming on Kilcarry.
It's not a stalemate
unbelievable
situation, though.
Duck under there.
Coach, it was not
and Rivera's still being aggressive, but Kilcarry finally starting to figure it out. A little too late in this match, but is able to drop, catch both legs.
You got warned. You got to come up.
He's got 9 seconds to work with to see if he can get some more points.
Jimmy Chan, our referee here today, saying it was not a stalemate situation like Coach Tom Ryan wanted. Kilcarry's got to try to turn him, and he's not going to be able to do so in time. In the end, it's Rivera who gets it going for Wisconsin. What a showing again from Kilcarry, but Rivera continues with a nice win.
Yeah, great start for the Badgers, and we'll see if they can build on this momentum at 133, which is one of the marquee matches of the night.
Speaking of, one of the top 15 matchups in the country on either side. Zane Futgit is at 13-2 in his sophomore season, and Ben Davino's number 2 in the country, a young freshman. These are a couple of young guys that can really get after it. You could see Davino, he can score in a hurry. 11 tech falls, 1 major, showing you that 12 of his 19 wins coming with major or tech fall, and add in there a fall along the way as well. He's got 12 bonus point victories this season.
Yeah, such an aggressive style from Davino, just absolute motor, constantly looking to generate offense and score. We've seen that all season so far, but he's got a really, really tall task here in Futgit, returning All-American, very experienced wrestler, really tough defense, and a great re-attack. So Davino's got to be really calculated when he goes, that he hits on these attacks, because Futgit's the kind of wrestler who can really capitalize on mistakes.
This is a fun match because they're both young guys. They're both young, and yet Davino is a guy who is one of the most sought-after recruits of the country, a 4-time state champion there at St. Charles East High School. And then you've got Futgit, who is number 11 of the country, like you said, a reigning All-American from a season ago, a guy who's done it in his freshman campaign. And see who gives here today. A 4th place finish at the NCAA championships at 133 pounds for the Wisconsin Badger last year. After a 9th place finish at the Big Ten championships, he really got it going in the NCAAs.
He really did, and these two sort of embody the youth that is present in the 133-pound weight class across the nation. There's so many talented freshmen and sophomores that are having unbelievable seasons, you know, undefeated, 1 or 2 losses. And if you ask anybody who's going to be on the podium in March, you'll get multiple different answers, because this weight class is wide open.
I thought it was funny. Tim talked about in our pregame show the guy at the top, Lucas Bird from Illinois, is the number 1 ranked wrestler here at 133, rightfully so, the reigning national champ. And he's the senior. Otherwise, we were going through earlier, I mean, all these freshmen in here, Davino being the top freshman right now, and the number 2 guy right behind. But there is a boatload of the Big Ten young guys. Marcus Blaze was just the Big Ten freshman of the week. And here's Davino in on the ankle, trying to finish his first takedown.
Yeah, beautiful head inside shot, really methodical in his progression, able to capture that far ankle, work up the hips, and jump out to the early 3-0 lead. Let's see if Davino can get some front pressure, work to break down Futgit, and rack up a little bit of riding time, because Futgit's not going to go down easy, and any advantage Davino can keep will be important. Good job escaping there by Futgit.
We're neutral.
Back neutral. Talking with Coach Bono, he said, you know, a guy like Zane Futgit, who was 4th in the country last year at the NCAAs, yet ranked number 11 in the country. He's not getting a lot of respect. A match like this could really put him in the top 5 talk, you know, obviously nationally where the rankings come. Love the gritty defense they've seen out of the Wisconsin Badgers so far this season.
Yeah, and he has every right to be in that conversation, like you said, returning with a 4th place finish. It's just a function of so many good recruits coming up out of the high school ranks, and I mean, this weight class is just phenomenal. But yeah, if Futgit can be patient, Davino is going to be aggressive. They continue to generate offense. He's got to find 1 or 2 quality re-attacks to give him a nice window to get his own takedown. Here again, really good progression by Davino. You see him capture that far left ankle, works that right arm up to capture the hips. In wrestling and neutral, it's all about capturing the hips, and really patient in his pursuit of doing that and taking the early lead.
Caution coming here against Futgit.
Okay.
3rd one would result in points.
We're just fixing the clock real quick.
That is the first one. Ben Davino in the bottom spot, trying to get up and out.
Wait for the whistle.
Wrestled unattached last year in his redshirt season, went 14-1. This year he's 19-0. He's lost just 1 college match since coming in. 5-0 against ranked opponents. He's jumping out in a hurry. And, you know, talking with Coach Tom Ryan, he said, well, I mean, come on, the guy wrestles with Jesse Mendez every day. You're either going to get better or you're going to quit. And he says Davino has taken that on like a champ right now. Mendez, the 2-time national champ, will be coming up next at 141. But They love the way Divino and Mendez really roll around to the room.
Yeah, he said Divino reaps the benefits of training with someone so hungry like Jesse Mendez. And again, he is just one of the best wrestlers in the country. Obviously has great habits, great leadership, does everything right. And that's what leads these young guys to gravitate to a program like Ohio State. They see the results and the performance in March. And yeah, Divino being able to check in every day and just look to his left and see what Mendez is doing and ask himself if he's keeping the same level of intensity and commitment. It just helps you get a gauge of, are you doing the things you need to do to be the most competitive, top ranked wrestler in your weight class. And he's proven that he's, well deserving of being in the echelon of ranking that he's in right now.
One takeout down for Divino being the difference so far in this one at 133.
Keep it legal, guys.
Yeah, I think Fugate's done a nice job of slowing this match down. Divino likes the high pace. He likes to have a touch and go, very offensive style, but Fugate's getting him into some nice ties. He's able to kind of ease the pace, which I think is to his benefit. If he can have this be a one-score match in the third period, maybe that experience and savvy and re-attack prowess can help him steal this one for the Badgers.
Yeah, to show you some of that different pace, Divino has 19 wins for Ohio State, 11 tech falls. On the other side, Fugate likes to do it a different way. He does have 13 wins, just 2 tech falls. And we go to the third in a 3-point match.
And what's interesting is Divino, to your point, he's had a ton of tech falls. He's an electric wrestler, high pace, big scores. But he's young, and he hasn't been in a ton of close matches like this in the crux of the Big Ten season. So Fugate has, and that is to his benefit. He's down by 2 early in this third period, and these are the moments that Divino needs as a wrestler developing in the Big Ten and on the national scene. You're going to have these tough, tight matches where it's not going to be perfect, and you're going to have to be gritty, and you're going to have to hold on for the win or maybe overcome some adversity, and that's what it takes to really get on the podium as an All-American, as a national champion. So we'll see how he closes this match out, if he wants to be aggressive and try to blow it open with another takedown, or if Fugate's able to make things interesting with some offense of his own.
Fugate is trying and looking for his first takedown. Coach Bono saying close to a minute, it's time to go. And he's the attack.
1 minute.
A straight-on shot from Fugate, which against a quality opponent like Divino is just not going to cut it. You need a little bit more motion, some fakes. Thinking about that second, third opening, you need one good go to get in on the leg. So you got to dig into your bag of tricks and think about, your perfect offense to create that opportunity. Otherwise, Divino's going to keep good head-hands defense, control the center of the mat, keep a low stance, and just let the clock continue to tick down to 0.
25 seconds. Divino looking for another ranked win. He is 5-0 in those scenarios.
Stalling red, warning.
Divino getting a warning. His first, which is 10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and Fugate, generating some good activity, but again, it's all straight on. It's very predictable. Really good job by Divino closing out the match with a re-attack, but Fugate just unable to create that window, and a really gritty victory there for Divino at 133.
Divino with yet another ranked win. He stays perfect in his freshman season, 20-0 to the resume, 141. As effort on one side, the young freshman's got a tall task here with the 2-time national champion, #1 ranked in the country, Jesse Mendez, on the other side for Ohio State. Alongside Big Ten champ, 4-time All-American Mike McMullen. Zach Mackey with you, Northwestern great, who again won that heavyweight match to give Ohio State the Big Ten championship that year. Is between Ohio State and Iowa, and it came down to the final match.
Okay, work up.
All right, early takedown for Jesse Mendez, who has looked just dominant this season, hasn't he?
He is really making himself a great case for the for the Hodge Trophy. Off to a big start here with the takedown and back points, but I mean, it's been dominant all season against every type of opponent the conference puts in front of him.
There's only 2 matches this year that he has not won with bonus points. And here quickly is Exford, the young freshman, to his back and a pin. In the first period, the 2-time national champ delivers bonus points for Ohio State.
That is Jesse Mendez doing Jesse Mendez things. Huge win for the Buckeyes, and the momentum is totally back in their favor. Yeah, great job here being patient. He's got that bow and arrow over the top, and he's getting those hips in and trying to work that opposite shoulder down, and is able to do so. Just a really tough position to fight out of on the bottom side. His legs are all done for each of these guys. They're both having great years in their own respect, and you know, if you're Zargo, you're a leader on this Badgers team. You just are coming off the back of Mendez swinging the duel back in Ohio State's favor. Let's see if you can get the Badgers back in this thing and come out strong.
Joe Zargo, the 3-time NCAA qualifier for Wisconsin, was at 141, then moved up 2 years ago here to 149. Feels a little bit better in this weight class. And on the leg, here's Styles looking to finish in the first.
Yeah, he starts with that lefty high crotch and then progresses into the low single. But Zargo, capturing that ankle as it's happening, is able to get to some offense in his own right. Elevating this head inside shot. Styles neutralizing well. He's trying to bring this down to the mat and get his leg back to the Resolite, but Zargo working the edge. He's on that ankle though. He's got to get higher up the leg, above the knee ideally, and work to capture the hips. That's what it's all about in this position. You can see him continuing to try to pull. He's got to be careful.
On the edge of the mat, not given yet by referee Jimmy Chen. And off back to the center they go. The Ohio State corner liking that, as Styles will go back to his feet.
Ready?
And that's tough if you're Zargo. Really quickly on the left here, the recap. Great start by Rivera of Wisconsin, but since then it's been all Ohio State with Davino and Mendez coming up with big wins at 33 and 41. But again, Zargo in on that leg for about 40 seconds, working for that finish. And you know, to get a quality shot in on a top 4 opponent is tough in its own respect, and you want to capitalize on those moments. And you know, when you're not able to do that, you got to get back on your feet. It's just, you know, it's tough early in this match. Let's see if Zargo can recover, try to find another window and opening, and potentially convert on one of those. But Style had some plans of his own and on a great shot.
And deep on this leg, trying to complete, and Zargo gets it out, and they're back to their feet.
Yeah, and you saw Zargo there working for the hands, using those hips as initial defense, but just working to break the grip with his hands, and really effective in getting Styles out of what otherwise looked like a really clean, deep shot.
Coach Tom Ryan describing Styles of the way he wrestles. He said he's like a cat. He always lands on his feet in a scramble scenario. He can roll and move with you. And then on the other side, Coach Bono said, you know, one of the keys to this one for Zargo is going to be not to let him roll. It's a guy in Styles that wants to roll, get in. Here again, he's on the leg. Can Styles finish?
Nothing.
And that's a beautiful left-handed high crotch. Immediately cuts across to the double. He's got his hands locked, but a nice somersault there by Zargo. Styles continuing to be patient. If he can get that left butt cheek and Zargo down.
Now he's got it.
Great work by Styles with short time left in the first period.
Hey, what do you want? Down.
Again, interesting defense by Zargo. He can be crafty, but Styles just being patient, being methodical, popping that head out, stepping that left leg over and capturing that near leg. That was enough for the referees to award the takedown.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Zargo up and out. Zargo's been on the leg a couple of times already now, too. The question is, can he find a way to finish?
Again, that's the challenge when you get to this level of quality and competition. A lot of guys can get in on the shot, but that's, you know, 25% of the equation to to get takedowns in the Big Ten. These guys are so good at not only their core head-hands defense and hip defense, but I mean the scrambling is absolutely insane. And both of these guys really comfortable in those positions. Great re-attack there from Styles. Switching to a low single, popping out the back door. Gonna work to Turk this bottom leg, but you see Zargo there capturing it with his hand. Able to switch off into a low single of his own. He's being patient, popping up. He's gotta try to work the pressure back towards Styles' head. If he can do that, win the height battle, threaten neutral danger position, he might be able to convert this.
Styles looking over to his corner. They're trying to talk him through this as he's looking for his first takedown.
Zargo's doing all the right things here. He's got the Turk, but Styles just so crafty, able to just not quite give him the window to solidify the takedown, and is able to keep the scramble alive, go out of bounds, and get back to their feet. That's a huge win for Ohio State.
You heard Coach talk about Styles and the way he can scramble. Right there you see it. I mean, when he's in a vulnerable position, he finds a way to end up on his feet.
Yeah, and great job just getting to his offense immediately after an exhausting exchange between both guys. But
keep that
again, able to, I mean, that position he got out of, you ask most college wrestlers, 99 times out of 100, the guy in on the leg with that Turk is going to convert, and it's just, I mean, such a testament to his ability to work through these positions in the way he does.
Zargo trying to get around here, trying to get his leg free and get his first takedown. He's got short time to work with, and the clock will expire before he can.
Red.
Hey, coming up, the Friday Night Wrestling triple header continues on as top-ranked Penn State collides with number 6 Nebraska. That is coming up next, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. What a full day, night I should say, of college wrestling coming your way right here on this very airwave tonight. Good match so far.
Yeah, I can't call him right off the bat there. Yeah.
So third period, Styles was down. Zargo elected to cut him, get him right up to his feet. Now a 4-1 score. And Styles immediately in on the shot, trying to eat some clock. And so much scrambling in this match that we've seen.
I was going to say, for a 4-1 match, these guys have gone after it. There's the first stall call coming against Zargo. But, I mean, these guys have got to be tired. Even for a 4-1 match, they've been going at it.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of energy that you're expending in these scramble positions and not coming away with points is pretty remarkable. And, it doesn't seem like they're showing any signs of slowing down. They continue to somersault and do some really interesting defensive maneuvers. And
there's another stalemate. Man, Styles has gotten in deep on some single legs. He just has not been able to convert. Zargo's had a really good job of sprawling his way out of it.
Yeah, and I think that, to neutralize some of these scrambles, you got to work up quick. You get in on that shot. You want to try to capture the far leg if you can, or just get the guy up off the mat. When you keep things down low here where guys can start to sit the corner like you see Styles doing, there's just so much variety in what can happen and where you can land.
Zargo's trying to tie things up here and get his first takedown.
Yeah, he's in a great position to do so. He's shelving this leg from the high crotch. He's captured the far hip.
And he ties the match up with a takedown. There's one stall warning so far. It's against Joseph Zargo of Wisconsin. Styles, so you could tell these two guys are tired. And he turns him. No swipe yet. And now Styles is up, but he's not out. He'll go back down.
You all right?
Great job by Zargo. He's been in on so many shots, finally able to convert and get the 3 points. He was so close on that tilt with that bar arm. But Styles able to wiggle out. Oh, man, what a match.
Styles hit his head as he went down to the mat. He is slow getting up.
Get ready.
You could see as soon as he went down to the mat, signaling.
1, 2.
Styles has got to try to get out while Zargo looks for overtime.
And Styles has been looking for these rolls. often, but with short time on the clock, it's just so risky. If you miss one, your opponent's able to capture the hips and sort of fall on top, and that's exactly what we saw from Zargo.
Our first overtime match of today's duel. Sudden victory. We put 1 minute on the clock, and it is the first wrestler to score. Ever since getting to his feet, going back down, Styles has not quite looked himself. Your referee, Jimmy Chen, say, Zargo, you've been warned for stalling. The Wisconsin wrestler, the only one so far.
But he's had a lot of the momentum, and he's gotten in on his shots recently. I mean, great job with the re-attack, hitting the corner. Similar position, able to secure the takedown and get the win in overtime.
Zargo with a big-time win goes on the road and gets a top-ranked victory. His 4th of the season in overtime. And instead for Ohio State, we see Landon DeSelli, who will get to go, a young freshman, 10-2. So good opportunity for these guys on the road in the Big Ten for a guy like Meckler, and at home thrust into that starting lineup for a guy like DeSelli.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for him, and I think in talking to Bono earlier this week, Meckler's a guy that they're really excited about. He's a Wisconsin product. He's solid. He's fundamental based. He's been in the program for a while, and he's going to keep a really good position and wrestle sort of a classic Big Ten style. And we'll see if that presents challenges for the freshman. Coming in and making that transition in college is tough, and Meckler's a seasoned competitor in his own right, and we'll see how it fares.
Meckler, a Wisconsin kid. He's got 2 state championships at Staunton High School. He then went to Oklahoma State before transferring back to his home state into Wisconsin. DeSelli in on the legs and takes him down.
Yeah, beautiful timing on that double. Meckler got out of his stance just slightly, was on his heels, and DeSelli timed it absolutely perfectly.
Meckler now in on the legs.
A really good defense there by DeSelli, sort of crafty, getting both knees to one side and able to break out, but good response by Meckler after giving up that impressive takedown by DeSelli.
DeSelli in on the legs, very workmanlike. He quickly gets yet another takedown. He's got 3 pins and 3 majors, and he's 10 wins this season.
Don't bait him, bottom.
He had another double leg, but of a different flavor. The first one was outside blast double, head on the sternum. That one was sort of a low double, patient cut across, sort of cut the corner shot. So he's got some variety in his attacks, and both have looked really nice, in this first period so far. Both guys going ear to ear. DeSelli's, done the better job of finding that window and generating offense. Meckler has struggled to keep good position against the freshman, and he's going to get back to his own offense to try to reduce the gap here with 55 seconds left.
DeSelli, a guy who won the Kent State Open, went 4-0. Early on in the year. Also at the Red Raider Open, where he finished 4th. And a takedown coming this time for Meckler, his first.
Beautiful job on that left side, cutting the corner.
Easy, keep it legal.
And just nice composure from the veteran. Down by 1 with 25 seconds left. If he can finish on top, it really changes the dynamic and sort of calms things down a little bit after a chaotic start to the match.
This is a spot too that Meckler wants to be in on top. He has been very good on top in his Big Ten seasons here, his Big Ten wrestling season so far this year.
I got him over here.
And he continues to ride out DeSelli. We've seen in matches this year where teams have elected not to have Meckler go on top because of how good he's been.
Yeah, and just a perfect response from him. Really nice duck under, sort of cut across double, and this is the perfect response. If you come out, you give up 2 takedowns, the match can really blow up and get off the rails quickly, but keeping the composure, getting yourself back in.
Wrestle here.
He's up to his feet here, working to get the escape as he does, and he's all of a sudden tied things back up with a lot of wrestling left in this match.
So a strong start, 2 straight takedowns from DeSelli, but Meckler's got out a couple of times and took him down himself.
Yeah, outside shot from DeSelli. He's got that elbow of Meckler. Meckler's in this front head position. He's got to be a little bit more aggressive, try to get some movement and maybe cut across the corner. Really crafty sort of struck by from DeSelli, able to switch off into a single leg. He's got elbow deep on that ankle. He's working that right hand, trying to capture the far hip. He's got to get those knees underneath Meckler's leg and start to elevate. If he can do that and push some pressure over, it'll help, but great defense by Meckler to force the stalemate.
Stalemate back to the center.
Okay.
DeSelli doing a great job here at 157. Okay. He's got a teammate, Brandon Cannon, who is the #1 ranked wrestler in the country at 157. We saw him last week with a nice victory against Millard, but he kind of went down with a knee injury. He was grimacing at that knee. We saw throughout the broadcast last week, and Coach Tom Ryan electing to have Landon DeSelli go here. Meckler with a takedown, and he takes his first lead of this match.
Dan Cannon's having a phenomenal season, and yeah, if you're the coaching staff, obviously you'd love to have him available for this duel, but you know, his aspirations are much bigger. He's on track to be a Big Ten champion, to be a national champion, and that the Big Ten is just so tough week in and week out that you got to pick your spots and make sure you're still balancing the need to be competitive and win these duels every weekend, but also staying on track for peaking in March. And it's the right move for Cannon and the coaching staff. You know, I think has had experience helping guys peak for March.
That's, you know, we talked about this, is you've got huge duels, you've got huge team implications, but you also have one weekend out of the year, the NCAA championships, that you're going to be known forever. Are you an All-American? Are you a national champion? It all comes down to that. Here's one of those takedowns coming from Meckler, but your entire wrestling career post-op can be determined by one weekend.
Absolutely. That's, you know, as you get 5, 10, 20 years removed from college, that's what folks look back at. And you know, as a result, people put the performance at those tournaments on a pedestal, and you know, that's what all these guys are focused on as they show up for preseason, as they show up for their kind of weekly in-season workouts, as they show up for competition. It's all towards, you know, culminating in that weekend, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, but you know, it's always proven to be a great event in sports, and we see unbelievable upsets and victories every single year in March.
It was a really quick start for DeSelli, but since then Meckler has kind of taken control of this match. He's going for yet another takedown, and Meckler has really, beside the first minute of the match, taken total control of this.
And he's up 8 right now, plus he's got the riding time. There's a minute left. He's been really dominant on neutral. There's not been a ton of defense from DeSelli as Meckler's been able to open things up offensively. I think if I was him, I'd probably recognize the fatigue and inexperience of the younger guy, try to cut and maybe get a couple more takedowns and work towards the tech fall, because when you look at the back half of this Ohio State team, they're pretty stacked.
That is another stall coming against DeSelli, his second, so it results in a point from Meckler, who's the 5th-year senior. On the other side, the bottom guy from Ohio State, Landon DeSelli, just a redshirt freshman. Riding time's been secured, so essentially a 9-point lead right now for Meckler.
Yeah, this is where that experience, ability to hand fight, keep solid position. You know, as you spend 4, 5, 6 years in a college room, you just build those skills that are really hard to know if you're coming out of high school and starting in your college career.
13 seconds.
Hey, on Sunday, see more wrestling live on Big Ten Plus when the Badgers take on Purdue. Download the Big Ten Plus app today. It's always game on. All right, so in the end, Wisconsin does get the win. Luke Meckler survives the flurry at the beginning from DeSelli and gets himself a major decision, the first victory for Wisconsin with bonus points attached to it. Freshman who's 17-7 for Ohio State will get the nod on the other side for Coach Tom Ryan. couple of guys who were NCAA qualifiers a season ago. Gable last year, while Gallagher has done it twice in 2023 and 25.
And Gallagher's had a good season for them, not getting the nod here today. And Burden's been a really good addition to this lineup, having a great win this past weekend.
So guys with injuries moved all around the Ohio State lineup. Ethan Burden won the Midlands at 165. He went 5-0, had a great showing in the Midlands, and hoping that can continue here tonight from the Corvelli setting.
Easy.
And Burden's a young guy, Ohio guy, and starting things off right with a really crafty leg attack, getting the early 3-1 lead. And for him, if he can keep to his offense, keep his motion, get his shots going, he's very dangerous in the neutral position, and he's got to finish clean. Gable is really crafty in some of these scramble situations and will try to make things exhausting and draw things out. So if you're Burden, crisp, clean finishes is the name of the game, and he did so in that first attack and really close there on that second.
Ethan Burden wants to show that he's a guy that can score. He's coming off a tough loss to Nebraska's LJ Arujo. A 1-0 decision was the difference in that one. What was a really close duel, back and forth it went. And he's trying to show that he can get to his offense. These two working on the edge of the mat as Gable trying to pull him back to the center, and the re-attack coming here from Burden.
And if you're Gable, that's always the risk on the edge, right? You're trying to be aggressive and, bring things back to the center, keep the action going, but you have to be cognizant of giving up those ankles, and Burden's got those long arms and able to get it on that first one and also that second one.
Talk about wrestling on the edge of the mat. These two doing just that.
Yeah, just a great job sort of disappearing, great level change, hitting the corner quick. And that length just to his favor, able to get to that ankle pretty uninterrupted and finish quickly. But Gable's also got some crafty offense of his own. He's targeting that left side of the body and has got it in a couple times, just unable to finish and really lock things up.
Ethan Burden's had a heck of a run here lately. Wrestled the number 20 ranked wrestler in the country, Tyler Lillard of Indiana. Won it 2-1. Another really close match. Lost to Arujo, who's number 7 in the country. And here he's got Cody Gable with yet another takedown.
And a beautiful low single and just a nice advanced finish. You'll see here that right arm drops and that forehead is on the inside of the knee. When you're doing that, you're isolating the bottom part of the leg. The defensive guy really has no answer when that happens, and it's just a function of gravity, and it got the best of Gable there and gave Burden the takedown.
Neutral.
In on the legs.
Absolutely beautiful patience by Burden. Immediately as Gable escapes and faces, he's already in on the attack. And as a freshman, that is really impressive. That chain wrestling is a big part of the college adjustment. And Burden has shown really impressive in this first period with 3 takedowns already.
Ethan Burden, a freshman out of Dublin, Ohio, has got it locked here. In the cradle, but can he turn it?
Yeah, it's a tough cradle to have, but you see he locked it up so easily. He was able to sort of just throw those arms underneath and grab
those long arms.
And you see it in other combat sports, boxing, MMA. Length is so important to really differentiate, and it's no different in wrestling. If you can have that ability to get it on legs more easily, less distance to cover, it makes the takedowns easier. We saw that in this first period. Again, just unbelievable patience. Immediately as he cuts, perfect sweep single. Good defensive effort there by Gable, but the patience from Burden able to help him land on top. And this is an unbelievable start out of halftime if you're Ohio State. This is exactly what Coach Ryan wants to see out of his team in these next 5 bouts.
They said we've got to get to our offense, and Burden has done just that. He's been offensively focused over the first. Hey, coming up, It's a great night of wrestling continues while Penn State collides with Nebraska, followed by Indiana against Illinois. It's all still upcoming here on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. You know, speaking of that Nebraska-Penn State duel, top 6 duel, one of the big ones that folks are circling, 174, Minto's number 4, Levi Haynes, number 1 ranked wrestler in the country. How do you like 174 here, Mike?
Yeah, look, I think Minto's coming off a big win last Sunday, avenging an earlier season loss to Hartla, and he's grown into the 174 weight class well. He was down at 65 last year, and testing himself against Levi Haynes of Penn State, the returning national champ, is going to be a tall task, especially at the Bryce Jordan Center out in State College. But he's an athletic wrestler. He's got really crafty defense, and he's having a really good season so far.
Stall warning coming on Gable. It's his first on the edge of the mat.
Okay. Hey, you got to wrestle from that position.
And you'll see that, you know, not advancing in the top position. He was sitting on that ankle, holding the hip, and the referees are going to be aggressive, and they're going to want to see guys progress up the body and create pressure forward. They don't want guys just holding on.
Wrestle here.
Gable's got to be careful here now up top. Work to actually get Burden down. He opts for the escape because otherwise he probably would have given up another stall call.
So if you're Ethan Burden and you're Ohio State, you're looking at bonus points here too. It already is an 8-point leader for Burden into second.
Absolutely. He's proven that he can score on his feet. He's great from space. I think for him, if he can get another takedown or 2 in this period, finish on top, it's going to set things up really nicely to seek a tech fall, heading into the third period. But also we saw him in that first period slap up a cradle pretty easily. So maybe he can be thoughtful in some of these positions he gets into and see if there's a window of opening for that and potentially look for the fall.
Burden got the headlock, and now he'll let go.
Yeah, beautiful shrug. Not able to keep the momentum going forward by Gable, and smart by Burden. Gable needs to be offensive and create pressure in because he's down by 8. So, using that opponent's pressure against him is exactly what you saw with that shrug. And good action here. Gable in the short offense needs to create some space, pushing off those thighs to do so, working those hips into the back of Burden's head. Now he's got to try to break that lock, but not enough time to do so, and going to finish the period at neutral.
2 periods complete. We go to the third. So far, take a look at how the duel's gone. Wisconsin has the lead after some strong performances to start, and then at 49 and 57. Jesse Mendez was all he's cracked up to be. A fall in 51 seconds. He got to work in a hurry at 141.
Yeah, he's impressive. Front runner for the Hodge Trophy, in my opinion. And outside of his performance, Wisconsin looked really good in that first half. Even though Davino got the win, it was a close match with Fugit, and Davino really had to be on the defensive in that third period to thwart the comeback. But so far, coming out of the break, again, Ohio State, Burden riding those 3 takedowns from the first period, and let's see if he can open things back up again and does a good job to that low single shot.
Trying to complete this ankle pick here is Burden.
Nothing.
Yeah, he got it on that leg, tried to capture the far leg quickly, and now he's working to progress up the body to try to show the officials that he is truly controlling the hips, and they see that and they award the takedown.
One green.
Burden with 17 wins this year, no majors, but 4 tech falls and 2 falls. And now it's Gable. The leg of Burden here. But he has to let go as the wrestlers circle back in.
Yeah, good job fighting the hands by Burden, recognizing that Gable's got to hold onto that leg tight, pull it in. Didn't have his luxury of his hips in to use as defense, but breaking the lock and able to get a fresh start. Again, if you're Burden, you're a young wrestler, you're up 10, you have the major secured. You can coast to victory here, but again, given how the first half went, any additional team points will be helpful for the Buckeyes, and Great job getting to his offense. Catches in a Navy ride, able to lock up the cradle and maybe get some back points, but Gable, great job breaking free.
Gable got out of it. Burton is just so quick. He gets the takedown. He's looking for a pinning combination as soon as they're down to the mat. The third period will end, and it's a big win for Ethan Burton. Major decision for Ohio State.
And you see this hitting the corner really quickly, elevates the leg, pressures in, roll through attempt by Gable. That left arm, Burton catches the Navy ride, which gives him the cradle opportunity, but just not enough time to settle in, and instead has to settle for the major decision.
Ethan Burton had a 1-0 match last week. He shows, yeah, I can score, and he put up a takedown clinic there at 165. We go to 174. Luke Condon, the sophomore's 8-7 right now, and he's going against one of the top wrestlers of the country, Carson Hartslaw, with a fourth-place finish at the Big Ten Championships last year, has a boatload of tech falls, a couple of major decisions. And this is a situation here in this one where these two wrestlers have already matched up. It was in the consolation second round of the Big Ten Championships. Hartslaw was the winner, 19-7. He won it 19-4, rather, a tech fall. What was about a year ago?
And he's been such a great cornerstone of this Buckeyes team for the past couple seasons. All-American back in 2022. He's been to the NCAA tournament 3 times. You know, he's an Olentangy Liberty High School grad. He's an Ohio guy. And these are exactly the sorts of wrestlers that, you know, the Buckeyes look to recruit, continue to recruit, and win so often. And Ohio is such a strong wrestling state with so much depth and talent. You see that on not only the Buckeye roster, but a lot of these other Big Ten and national rosters as well.
Talking with the Wisconsin staff and Coach Bono, he said, what's one of the keys here for Luke Condon? He said, you know, this week we've worked on trying to figure out a way to take Hartslaw down. Trying to get to our offense, get a takedown is going to be difficult. Here now, Hartslaw takes him down and to his back. He's getting swipes. And that is 4 near fall. Hartslaw trying for the home run ball in the first.
Yeah, beautiful dump by Hartslaw. He captured that left. Use that left hand to capture the right hand of Condon. And again, early in the period, sweat hasn't really set in yet. Guys still have that skin that's grabbable. Those dumps are really risky, and Hartslaw's comfortable there. And you know, to blow things open with the 7-point move a minute into the match, it's really hard to come back from that if you're Condon. So great start by Hartslaw.
Neutral.
Again, it goes right back.
Again turning. Condon, and again getting 1 swipe so far.
One count.
And you'll see he's keeping that arm. It's not a cross wrist, it's a cross elbow. He's got that tricep so high. And that, as the bottom guy, is so tough to defend when you have that leg of the stool taken away. But Condon able to recover, minimize the damage to just a takedown. But
one green.
Again, the adjustments and points that we saw a couple of years ago with the 3-point takedown and 4 points of near fall. I mean, you've got 2 offensive actions and you're already up 8 points. Yep. 2 minutes into the match. It's incredible.
Yeah. Hartslaw in his 12 wins has 2 majors and 6 tech falls.
He's right back in this position he's like to be in, where he's got the tricep of Condon locked up. Hopefully, Condon's learned his lesson after giving up 2 takedowns here, but I have a sense Hartslaw's going to continue to look for that. Beautiful re-attack in the short offense position. Another takedown from Hartslaw.
Hartslaw looking good on his offense. Can he turn Condon? He got 1 swipe last time.
His rest choice. Yeah.
And he's got that near wrist on both sides. I think he maybe had a shot there at a quick 2-count tilt, but the time's going to run out. And I mean, a great start for Carson Hartslaw.
He took him from his feet straight down into his back, Mike.
Yeah, and again, if you're comfortable in this dump, you can score big points quickly. And he was already heading to his back before he got the takedown. And, that desperation there on the side of Wisconsin, and beautiful re-attack, just a complete showing in this first period from Hartzlau.
Looked like Hartzlau was like adjusting his headset. All of a sudden, Condon saw that, went after it, but there's no problem for Carson Hartzlau to get back to the offense and get the takedown.
Russell here.
And he's having a really nice year. I mean, he's ranked 5th right now in the country. He's only got 2 losses on the year. And he had that All-American finish back in 2022. Hasn't been able to punch through the past couple seasons. And that drives you as a competitor, as a guy in the room. You're chasing that glory, that accolade that you felt early in your career. You've tooled your approach to be consistent. You've grown, obviously, with maturity and experience. And it's really nice to see him having the season he's having so far. It's been an absolute grinder of a schedule that this Ohio State team has wrestled, and he's had some really strong wins so far this year, and he'll have a couple more tests towards the end of the Big Ten slate.
Yeah, no kidding. How about next week? As there's the takedown. Big win for Carson Hartzlau. But Ohio State has Iowa, Penn State next week. That means Patrick Kennedy and Levi Haynes both on the record. But Carson Hartzlau gets the Tech fall. He's 7th of the season, and bonus points are coming the way of Ohio State. Took him down, took him to his back. Hartzlau keeps it rolling for Ohio State in front of the home crowd. Ohio State, he's 12-4 on the year. This is one where Ohio State will look for bonus points at 184 pounds. Big opportunity for Malin.
And it's nice to see Fishback back in Ohio. He is an Ohio guy, and I know Tom Ryan and the crew have known him for a while. Saw him go to NC State. He's had a ton of success in that program with Pat Popolizio, and it's just a nice get for this program in the upper weights. And he's having a great season so far, in this year's campaign.
Dylan Fishback, a NCAA qualifier at NC State in 2024 and 25, was runner-up at the ACC championships last year, but he's an Ohio product, a 2-time Ohio State champion out of Aurora High School. He grew up with Buckeye stuff all in his room, all throughout Ohio State at the time when he was getting recruited, had an 84-pounder. Obviously, Rocco Welch is now at Penn State. That opened it up, and Fishback got to come to Ohio, a spot where he grew up rooting for and wanting to be an Ohio State Buckeye.
Well, at least with that, when he had red, gray, and black, bed sheets and furniture going down to NC State, as he did, at least he still got some good use out of that.
That's true. It was easy on the wardrobe. Stay with the red.
He's got the seatbelt position, able to capture that head. He's got the chin. If he could pull his hips a little closer, that's pretty tight.
Nothing.
Malin on the edge of the mat here. While Fishback is trying to pull him back in, and the wrestlers go out, they'll go back to the center.
Ready?
Yeah, a lot of guys in that cow catcher position. Great offense by Fishback at that quick low single. But a lot of guys throw that arm through in that cow catcher cement job position, and I've seen more progression with this seatbelt where guys hold that opposite hip, they sort of creep their hips in, and they try to then throw their arm on top and capture the head. And Fishback had a good look there, but just ran out of some mat space.
He's trying to turn. Malin here, the 2-time Wisconsin State champion, and some near fall coming here for Fishback.
Yeah, you see that hazard roll through lock that he's got. With the cross wrist and that hand on the outside elbow, and most guys roll through, as you said, but when you're threatening that, the bottom guy is obviously going to put that opposite hip down to prevent, and Fishback using that pressure to his benefit, able to hop to the other side, and he'll still rack up a couple near fall points.
Trying to turn him again here.
Yeah, do you see that movement, right? He tries to go underneath. The fight for Malin shifts the hips, and then Fishback uses that to his benefit and racks up another 4 near fall points.
Dylan Fishback has 4 tech falls in his 12 wins for Ohio State this season. He's already got 11 on the board 2 minutes into the first period now.
And he's got that cross wrist again, which Mallon's he's got to prevent it. And Fishback again threading this roll through, able to get it this time.
Getting a count again. For a near fall. And Fishback gets the tech fall in the first. Wow, he got to the offense in a hurry for the home crowd.
He really did, and that hazard position is so dangerous. You can rack up points in a hurry, and you're playing the game of the bottom guy hipping down constantly.